We're all excited about Vice President Kamala Harris and her historic rise to becoming the Democratic nominee. I know it's not completely official. The roll call is still going on till I think 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. But she has enough delegates to be the nominee, and we're all excited about it. But what are some other things we can do to help? Well, how we can help, we can volunteer. If you have time to volunteer, to knock on doors, cold call, do any of that stuff, hand out flyers, whatever they need you to do. If you can donate money to the campaign, even though she's got a pretty impressive war chest already, donating always helps because elections are expensive. Beyond that, what can we do? Well, I make these videos. I spread any news I see. I spread messages about what I think may or may not happen in the future, how things should be handled, etc. You can share any of the videos of creators like myself or anybody else who makes content like this, who you enjoy, who helps spread the message to as many people as you can. But you need to convince people to vote. That's a big one. If you go to vote and you take 10 people with you and they all vote for Kamala Harris and those 10 people convince 10 other people, well, you by yourself have now convinced 100 people to vote. Because you convinced 10, those 10 each convinced 10 themselves. By your actions, you've now gotten 100 people to vote. Remember, Georgia last election went blue, and it went blue by a little over 11,000 votes, almost 12,000 votes. But still, small numbers of votes can make a difference in some of these states. And I know, coming from a state that has been red the last several elections, it can be disheartening. But I think states like Iowa and other red states can be in play. If we turn out in overwhelming numbers, we can flip states that have not been flipped for years. I believe Florida's in play. Texas may be in play. Arkansas might be in play. Missouri might be in play. Like I said, I think Iowa's in play. One of the things we can do is we can vote and convince others to vote and spreading the message. The other thing you should do, if you're in some of these states that have been talking about doing things with their voter registration, you need to check to make sure your voter registration is up to date, that it is active. Make sure you know which polling place you need to go to. Now, I know here in Iowa, you can vote at the wrong polling place, but when you do, your ballot is considered a provincial ballot, and it will count provided nobody else that matches you votes at another district. So if you voted at the wrong district and then realized, oh, I was supposed to vote over here, and you showed up at that place and you voted there, they would only count one of those two ballots. But it also puts your ballot in a separate section, basically, and it takes a little more work to get your vote to count. You can also vote early. If your state offers early voting, figure out what you have to do to either vote by mail, vote in person early. But the main thing is to vote. I know almost every election anymore, I look for when the early voting is. I go down to my local courthouse and I take one of my days off. I take 10 minutes and I go vote. Usually there's no line. I'm in and out, like I said, 10 minutes. So those are just a few things you can do to help the campaign and how you can keep this momentum going.